Hey there, I'm Heintzel, and welcome back to a very first of its kind security breach video. Now today's video is going to be quite long, but I'm really excited to get into it. This is going to be a series. If you guys like it, please let me know in the comments if this is something you want to see more of. But today, I'll be going over every single room in Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. So, today's video will actually be part 1 of this series, as I was explaining earlier. And today, we'll be going over the main entrance lobby, as well as the Daycare Theatre, and the small arcade in the daycare as well. So what I'm actually going to try to do with these videos is just give you guys a detailed look so you can better understand the Pizzaplex. The place is giant, and I mean giant, and there is a lot to explore and a lot to unpack. There's also a lot of small details that so many people miss, and I'm going to be trying to highlight those while explaining where each thing connects and how this whole Pizzaplex is connected, because it's very interconnected. To start, there are some rules I need to go over in this series. So rule number 1, I won't be going over any extra rooms that Ruin brings up. So there are some rooms we actually just can't see in Security Breach that we do get to see in Ruin. I won't be going over those. Maybe after this series, if that's something that really interests you, then I'll go over those, but we won't be going over that. Also, I'm playing at the end of the game, so if there's a room that you can't access after that, well, then I won't be going over that as well. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get straight into the video, starting off with the main entrance lobby. Now, I'm actually in a back hallway that connects to that, but I consider it part of the lobby. And as you can see, right now we're just going through a storage room. This is actually where you first learn about hiding spots. As you'll see through here, it somehow kicks going backwards too. So it's a pretty creepy kind of room, but it is cool. And it definitely sparks a contrast to the actual main lobby. Here's a look at the office that we can't enter. We can actually see the other side of that, but we'll do that in another part because technically the lobby doesn't connect that floor. There's also a save spot there, which you should be able to use if you're playing at any other time of the game. Again, at the end of the game, there's only one save spot, but I'll try to give those whenever going around. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, this room and the whole utilidors under the Pizzaplex kind of give a stark contrast to the giant openness of the lobby. So it's a great contrast, and look at this opening right here. So you go from back hallways to being chased in this eerie environment to just opening up to this giant lobby, which by the way I think is really cool. Little fun fact that cup right there is floating a little bit, but yeah, it's just a really cool contrast, and it really sparks you, especially when you're hitting the game for the first time and you see those gates go down and you know you're trapped in here till 6 a.m. By the way, I can't get close to that entrance because if I do, I'll trigger a cutscene asking me where I want to go in the game. If I want to end it and get a cutscene, do a Vanny boss fight, but no. Alright, so let's go actually into the main part here. So we're out of the front part of the lobby, and we can start our way over here by the exit. As you can see, we saw that earlier. I've been talking for a while now, but yeah, there is the actual exit where you're supposed to exit if you're coming here for a day visit. However, we're not here for a day visit. We're here in the night. So as you can see, there's actually a gift right there and a floating gift top. There's a coffee machine, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of really cool details. I know there's a lot of complaints about Security Breach, but one detail I don't see very much people mentioning is it's really well detailed. It looks really nice. It's just a good game to look at, and it has a lot of details, and you can tell that the people making it put a lot of time into it, and I really appreciate it for that. So now we're actually in Glamrock Gifts in the basement part of it, and as you can see right here, we have a little wooden statue and shoes. Those shoes are actually the shoes that we can unlock as an upgrade that allow us to run 2 times faster. I have a full video on that, and I have several other videos on Security Breach if you want to go check this out. I have a whole playlist called Security Breach. I'll put in the link, but just check out the channel. You'll see. It's a lot of Security Breach. Anyways, we're just looking around, just again, taking in the whole Pizzaplex and enjoying it. So here's the free mystery prize, which gave us the Mr. Hypno Magnet we needed when going through the lobby for the first time. So we can upgrade to our Daycare Pass. We'll actually get to see the daycare at the end of this video, so stay tuned. I'll always try to book note the different parts in different rooms, so if you're really interested in a certain room, then you're free to look there. And if my commentary bores you, just turn it off. You're welcome to use this footage for anything you guys need to. I really don't care. Alright, so we're heading back out here. If you're seeing me look up, that's because we'll actually eventually visit the East Arcade, where you can look down on the main lobby, and that's right up there where that big dome is at. So now we can make our way over here. There's actually a gift over here. We're going to ignore that, just focusing on the elevator right here. This elevator also goes to the East Arcade, and assumingly in the cutscene where Vanessa grabs us and takes us to Lost and Found, again, we'll get into Lost and Found in a second, she actually goes down the elevator and puts us in that. But currently I think it's out of order, so can't go in it. Now we're going into the bottom of the Faz Pad, I believe it's called, but this has nothing to do with the Faz Pad. As you can see, that's just a stroller area where you can buy strollers for the Pizzaplex. There's a lot of stuff like this. The game is very practical. It could definitely be an operational place, and that's one thing I really do appreciate about it. There's a lot of lockers, which doesn't really make sense to me because there aren't many rides. So, I mean, you could pretty much carry all your stuff around, but maybe it's important to some people. And there are actual little stickers on the lockers, not all of them, but some of them, which just adds a little more detail. On the wall there, you can see all of our icons for the four major stage runners. Can't speak today. And there's the actual upgrade machine to our left, which we use to upgrade our pass to the daycare entry pass, and the magnet as well. Next, we'll actually go see the Lost and Found, which again is where Vanny puts us. Either way, if you go upstairs or downstairs, you actually end up here after she assumably knocks you out. I think that's what she does. You end up here, and you can see right there is the box where the screwdriver was. And there's the monitor system in which she appeared on. So we're going to go over here, and you can get another look outside at the main entrance, which I just think is such a cool thing. And where everyone will buy tickets at. Again, there's the shoes you can unlock, which are a really cool upgrade, really good. I made a full video about them, that's how good they are. And we can actually go in this vent right here. Well, we do this earlier in the game. But yeah, you can go through the vent and just hop back out here. See, the whole thing is a giant loop. And that's just one thing I love about the game design of Security Breach. It feels very complete. And Secret of the Mimic did something very similar to that, where you can unlock different areas and stages that just make the game feel complete. So I do really love Security Breach for that aspect. So now we're actually upstairs in the main lobby. There's the elevators in front of us, which lead to the main atrium. We'll be doing that in another video because that area is giant, but we'll make our way over here to the top part of the Faz Pad. Now this is a very cool area. It just seems so relaxing. As you can see, there's like a little bar that opens up on a balcony. We have a little stat out we have to watch out for, and there's a coffee machine back there. Just the seating area is just so nice. I just really enjoy it, and it just seems like a relaxing place to have a drink and eat some food. So coming out of the Faz Pad, we're going to turn around. You can see there's more seating back here, as well as a pool table, which I think is really cool. You could play some pool here. And again, I just think the Faz Pad is such a relaxing area that I could actually see myself spending time. It's a great overlook of the lobby with the fountain that we saw earlier, and just would be a really cool place. I really wish that there was a way to disable some of the stat bots so I could just, walk around this place and enjoy it more. But no, sadly, I got to watch out for these guys. But it's okay. They're not too hard to get past. There's some wall decorations. And now, after looking at Plush Baby, we're going to head into the kitchen right here. Now, this kitchen, sadly, doesn't have much to show. It's kind of boring. But it is a kitchen. There's a gift right there. I believe it's a sweatshirt or a shirt. Kind of cool. I'll be making a video here soon on how to get all the gifts. And we'll head back downstairs. And as you'll see, again, it's just a giant loop. Because there's Lost and Found. And if we go to our left, we're back at the bottom of the Faz Pad. Which, again, I don't think would be considered the Faz Pad, but it doesn't have its own name. So don't know how to classify that. Let's head back upstairs, trying to avoid Chica. We can take a look at the fountain there. We're actually not able to hop up here, but you can see the water. And I just love how beautiful this game is. So now we're going to head back into the basement of Glamrock Gifts and try to make our way upstairs. There's some cool decals with Roxy and Foxy. Again, it's just a beautiful game. So much going on. Just all these screens. It does feel very futuristic, and I think that's the whole thing here. Futuristic in the 80s style. So here's the top of Glamrock Gifts, which is another really cool section. As we walk past here, we can see several of the memorabilia you could buy, which, if I was here, I'd be definitely buying some stuff. I really wish the Pizzaplex was real. It would be an amazing place to visit. So yeah, we can make our way over here. We can actually look over a balcony, and if you haven't watched my 10 fun facts about the game, there's actually no underlook from the basement, so they definitely forgot to program that in. You can actually only see down through the upstairs section and not the downstairs section. So kind of weird, but it's just a cool little fun back there that the programmers just forgot to do. So making our way over here, we can look at more memorabilia. There's some keychains there for each of the characters, cardboard cutouts, and just a bunch of other stuff. There's just a lot of stuff you could get, and it is really, really cool. Okay, so we're going to continue down here. There's Chica for you. She's all in her shattered state. And yeah, that's pretty much all the lobby. Up next, we have a brand new section, as they call it here, the Superstar Daycare. But as everyone else just calls it, the Daycare. So yeah, as you can see, we're in the Daycare Lobby, as I'm going to call it. And we're going to start off with the bathrooms. I'm not going to miss any spots in this place. This is the men's restroom. Although obviously it doesn't mention that it's men's. I'm sorry, that's not obvious. I think it's strange that it doesn't mention that it's men's. It's just a red door. And then you have a blue door for the female sorry, I mixed it up. Blues is the boys' bathroom. And I think it's like red is the girls' bathroom, which I think would be kind of confusing, especially since they're both guy characters. They have Sun in the girls' restroom and Moon in the guys' restroom, like as their representative mascots, but that doesn't make much sense to me. Anyways, moving on about the bathrooms. We have this really cool starry sky, and even the ground glistens. I just think this section is just so beautiful. There's a charging station right there, if you're ever interested, and a beautiful fountain right here. We can actually go on it and just take a peek at the water there. There's also a little secret gift up here you could get. Again, if you're looking for gifts, I'll be making a future video. Now, this door sadly is out of order, but this would connect the daycare to the main atrium if that door was operational. So now let's make our way out of the main lobby for the daycare and head on into the daycare itself. So the daycare's playset is actually off limits after playing it. So as I previously stated with the rules there, we won't be going over that because I just don't feel like going back and replaying the entire game for like the 20th time. So yeah, again, if you guys want to see that, let me know. I'll make a full video just about those kind of sections of the game. But yeah, we actually can't enter into the actual playset of the daycare, but we can visit everywhere else, and there's a lot of secrets in here. So passing the golden statues of Moon and Sun, we're going to go over here, and there's the little moon board. And we can see the little security desk right here. And many people have asked, what happens if you try to go back into the playset using the slide, which you normally go down? And if you do that, some will actually grab you. Here, take a listen. So unlike when Sun initially says security alert and everyone comes over, no one actually comes this time. So I guess they just aren't listening, or they're just not close enough to hear him. But yeah, nothing really happens. As you can see, we can look into the playset area, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. And yeah, we can make our way over here. Trying our best not to get caught by these staff bots. We don't want that. And we can take a look at these little birthday rooms. There's several of these. I'll try to do my best to, look over them. But I won't be spending too much time in these birthday rooms because while they're not all the same, they're pretty much the same, if that makes sense. They're all unique, and I think that's really impressive that even the developers did that. And they all have like a background that looks like kind of like, I don't even know how to call it, like coastal. I don't really get what that theme is, but as we'll see in the atrium, the whole daycare aesthetic is coastal. So I guess that's the theme they were going for. That just kind of mixed. So as you can see in here, we can take a look. There's actually a cake in this one, which does look really nice, and some plates. And if you look over here, we can see the lighthouse that we'll see on the exterior of the daycare in the main atrium that was supposed to connect to the daycare, but is out of order. So we can go over here, and it's actually someone's 40th birthday, as you can see by the balloons right there. And we can make our way over here. These are the big party rooms, so they have plenty of room. There's also a gift right there, if you're interested. And yeah, let's just take this little view in here of the daycare. It's really nice. Now we're going to hop back out here. We can ignore the advertisements. There's another unoperational elevator because we know in-game there's no reason to use that. We can just walk down the stairs. And we're going to head down here. Now, this area is rarely explored by the player because it's not really incentivized to. There's only one gift that I know of at least, and there's a whole extra arcade section that no one ever uses. So here we get a good look into the actual playset, which again is really cool. It's very well detailed, and I just think everyone really enjoys that section of the game. It's a very nice section, and it can be quite scary with Moon. So anyways, here it calls it the Fazcade, but there's already a Fazcade, which is the West Arcade, so just ignore that name. No one calls it that. But yeah, this is a really secret arcade that like 90% of players just never see. It's really cool too. It's well detailed. There's extra sound effects. The games all have sound. And actually, there's one part of the game where if you walk up on it over here, you'll see that. You just sound different. Your steps sound different. They even programmed that in, which is so weird because there's no gift in here. By the way, that could be the crane that we see in Help 1 and 2. Sorry. But yeah, there's no gifts or anything in here. It's just a cool aesthetic detail. And I love it for that. I really do. There's hiding spots in here. And that's about it. There's just, I don't understand the reason you use this, but it is really cool. And this is the section I was talking about with the floor. There's no other place in the game that our feet sound like this while walking on it, just here. So yeah, really cool. And again, I think they just have the developers have more purpose for it. We don't even get to see it come back in ruin because they just walk past it, which is such a shame. I mean, all the arcade cabinets get pulled out of it, as we see in ruin, but that's about it. Also, these chairs are pushable, so you can push them around, throw them around, and even like you could probably do some glitches with them. Just being honest with you, you could probably do some sort of glitch. But yeah, we won't mess with them too much. I just thought that was kind of cool. You can like launch over them and just do some fun stuff. So after that, let's head out of here and go back into the main area. Now, as you can see, we'll walk all the way down here. Because again, I'm not going to try to miss out on anything. I'm going to give you guys the full experience of the Pizzaplex, so you know where everything's at. Because again, I'm explaining every room with every little detail. So yeah, we can get our best look into the actual playset area. There's no stat bots on this side of the first story of the daycare. However, there are stat bots patrolling the left side of the first floor. Alright, so we're gonna look over there. You can see all the famous palm trees that are famous for the Pizzaplex, and the main entrance over here as well, which again we cannot reopen after leaving it at the very beginning of the game. Kind of cool. We can see the main room. We'll see that room later, so get ready for that. And we're going to go over here into the bathrooms. Again, these bathrooms are never used in game. There's no gifts in here, so no clue why they're even added. I mean, they are important to Ruin. I think we walked through one of the bathrooms in Ruin, but besides that, they just aren't useful. Here's the ladies' restroom. Nothing much in here, and the same can be said for the men's, but again, I won't ignore any spots for you. So yeah, we can go in the men's, which at least have icons. At least Freddy and Chica are iconing the men's and girls' restroom. The ones in the Daycare Lobby are just a little too confusing for my liking, as I even messed it up in this video, so that's great. Alright, so we're going to walk out here, and yeah, we're going to go back out here. We can go down to the left. There was a gift shop, I believe it's called, Lucky Stars gift shop, which I think, it is. It does appear again in Ruin, but we'll come back to that. For now, we're just going to walk down here, and I'm going to show you. We can see into the actual playset area again, but these are the stat bots we have to watch out for. We really can't get caught here. And if you look to our left, you'll see rainbow doors, which sadly cannot be unlocked because it says level 10 security. And if you've watched in my videos, you know that there is no level 10 security badge in the Pizzaplex, so you actually can't access those. But those would lead into the Daycare Theater, which again, sadly, is kind of an unused section. We do use it if you choose to go through major size, and I'll get to explore that here in a second with you. It's a pretty creepy section, honestly, and it can be quite hard, especially with the endos. But yeah, those doors would lead you to the Daycare Theater. However, since there's no level 10 security badge, and I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be by the end of this game, we can't access those doors. There's the actual sign for the Fazbear Theater. Alright, now let's check out Lucky Stars. There actually is a gift down here we can get. And just like the Glamrock Gifts shop and the lobby, there's a lot of really cool gifts. A lot of them are actually unique to the daycare, which is just really cool. It's something you don't see much in games. But yeah, there are a lot of unique assets that are used. And I love Security Breach's level of detail. It really is well detailed. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some sections that could use more detail. But look at this. You can buy balloons here, which you see all throughout the party rooms. I just think it's so cool and so well thought. And I wish they would have spent a little bit more time on this game, as a gift, by the way, finishing it out so that it would be more complete gameplay-wise, if that makes sense. Because I feel like all these sections were meant to be used more than what they actually are. So yeah, there's a really cool gift shop that we actually do get to see more of in Ruin. So let's head upstairs and finally take a look at the actual Daycare Theater, because it's about time. I've been hinting at it. And after that, we'll go into the final, I don't want to call it the basement of the Daycare Theater, which is another really cool room where we can see a lot. But before we do that, let's check out the party rooms over here, because I did ignore them last time. They're pretty similar to the party rooms over there, but as you can see there's another glitch gift box. Those love to be glitched. But yeah, there's not much. I'm probably going to ignore most of them because, being honest, there's not much you guys want to see in that. We'll check out these last ones right here and then head on over to the theater. So as you can see, there's gifts, and there's the actual gift box where the lid was glitching through, and a little cooler, whatever you want to call that. And yeah, just by the way, the TV there is just floating. It's not actually mounted, but yeah, kind of cool. There's a little glitch there for you. Yeah, so party rooms are cool, very practical. It makes sense, especially for the kids. This is the main kids area of the Pizzaplex. But yeah, let's go check out the actual Daycare Theater itself. Okay, so I did a little editing magic there because Monty was chasing me, as you saw there. But now we're here at the actual Daycare Theater, or Fazbear Theatre, sorry. So let's head on in here. Man, I cannot talk today. Sorry about that, guys. Let's head in here. And there's a little stat bar we have to watch out. There's actually a kitchen that connects to the main ticket booth that we saw outside. And this is actually reused in Help Wanted 2. You can actually play here and make food. really cool little section there, and I just thought that's so cool, especially for someone that knows Security Breach so well. That was a really cool detail I really liked and helped wanted to. So yeah, there's the actual booths you could buy tickets for the Daycare Theater that we saw on the outside of the thing. So yeah, just a really cool detail. Like I said, very well detailed game. Impresses me. There's also a gift back here you can get in this little trash pile. So if you're interested in gifts, there you go. Let's head on out of here, back into the main area so we can actually get to the theater itself. But again, this is where you buy food and snacks for the theater. And there's some really cool Bonnie and Chica wall decals, if you want to call it that. And here's some stairs to go downstairs. We're going to ignore those for now. All the stars. And there's some more images of Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy on the walls. And a lot of stat bots, so we're going to be careful. So here's the top row seating for the theater. Right now it's just a comedy stat bot, which is comically bad at jokes, but I mean that's the whole point of it, is to be just, you know, quirky on a terrible level. So as you can see, as we get over here, we get closer and closer to the actual projector, and of course we get grabbed again. So we're just going to get past this section and run straight to the secret door, which is a pretty big part of this game. So as you can see right here, there's a poster. I made a whole video on how to unlock this door, but once you go through it, you actually unlock a whole new section that is only unlocked once you flash, I believe, 5 posters with your Fazcam. And yeah, it unlocks Sun and Moon's room. It's a lot more destroyed, I want to say, than it is in Ruin, and which is the opposite of the whole other game in Ruin, but it's more cleaned up in Ruin than it is here. But yeah, it is pretty cool. Sadly, we can't go up there. I really wish we could. That would be really cool, but sadly we can't do that. We can actually walk around here. There's a unique sound animation for walking on the glass here. But what most people remember about this room is this blue pipe over here on the right side wall. So if you go through here, there's 2 secrets. 1, a golden present, and 2, the Balloon World game. I made a full video on how to actually beat the Balloon World game. It can be quite hard, so I would check that out if you're having problems with that. And the golden gifts are also important, so there's another one of those. See, this is a cool room. I don't understand what it's for. Maybe it's where Moon would hide because it's a lot dirtier. But who knows? Who knows how that works? But yeah, this is Sun and Moon's room. Really cool little secret area, and yeah, pretty cool. Let's head back out here and head downstairs into the actual theater and see what it has in store. So we're gonna head back out here. Hopefully Monty is gone because he was a pain in the butt last time. And we're gonna head down these stairs, which are again very theater-isky, like movie theater. But yeah, this is a really cool section. We're gonna watch out. There is a staff bot, so we don't want to get caught by that guy. But hopefully we can just get around him. And there we go. Made it easy for us. There's some Foxy stuff. We don't really get to see much of Foxy in the modern FNAF games, but yeah, there's some Foxy stuff. So now we're in the actual first floor, and there's those doors we couldn't access earlier from the outside of the daycare. There's a lot of flower theming to this section, but yeah, we're in the first floor of the theater, and there's where that other staircase leads. Again, trying to emphasize that this whole game is a big loop if you know where you're going. Don't get me wrong, there are dead ends, but most of the game loops and completes itself. So yeah, you can actually walk all the way around here. I don't know what happens. I'm pretty sure you can walk all the way up to that staff bot. But one staff bot you can walk up all the way to is the comedy bot here. So if you look long enough at the actual screenage, it's just them advertising snacks or Freddy and them walking around. So kind of cool. Comedy bot will sit there and tell you jokes all day. Again, not very good ones, but definitely jokes, of course. Alright, so now we're going to head down to the final section, and probably the scariest section because of the amount of endoskeletons down here, and that is the makeup room. Now, the makeup room is important for getting the mazer size key. It's actually stored down here, so you have to go down here to get it if you're doing that section of the game, which I highly recommend out. You guys have really enjoyed my video on the mazer size key, the actual code. I have a whole video on how to get this key as well, but the code especially, you guys will really like that one, so I'm really glad. But yeah, this is how you actually go down here and get the access key to access the mazer size section. So we're gonna head down here. Now again, being careful, there's a little ledge right there, and you can actually walk all the way over to this other side, and there's not much over here. It's blocked off because they want you to go to that one side, but you can see pretty far over there, and yeah, just kind of cool. They even let you do that. So now we're going to actually make our way down into the makeup section. Again, there are a lot of endos, and there's another one of those shoes. There's a lot of those, I guess, put in this game that I've just never noticed. And that looked like Toy Chica? I couldn't tell. She had pretty bright pink cheeks. Yeah, so this is the makeup room. Again, like I said, a lot of endos, so we're going to do our best to avoid them, because the closer we get to them, yeah, the more deadly they get. By that I mean they'll kill you. Thankfully, they don't actually move, unlike in their original conception, where they do move. And here we can actually see all the balls for the daycare ball pit that's in the playset area. So you can actually see how they get funneled up by that giant pipe right there. I think that's a really cool detail that like most people just wouldn't notice. But yeah, you can actually see all the balls and how they get funneled into the playset. So yeah, that's really cool. Making our way further down. This is also more of a storage room. I know there's a big makeup part, which is why it's called the makeup room, but there is a lot of storage, as you'll see here, with all the daycare blocks. And, you know, just a bunch of stuff you would need for a daycare for kids. So let's make our way over here. Over here, many people, like, I mean, a lot of people don't really visit. There's just a lounge area, if you want to call it. Pretty dirty couch, but I guess that makes sense for actors. A little broken light above us. As you can see, it's spraying down. Kind of cool. A mirror that we can't see ourselves in. So that's a shame. But it's there. There's a mirror. And you can look at a little trophy there. Possibly Roxy's room. There's also a bathroom. So maybe not Roxy's room. But there is this starry sky that we saw earlier in the daycare lobby. So that is cool. Again, another mirror that actually reflects the outside of the makeup room and not the inside. So that doesn't make much sense, but it is really cool how it actually is reflecting the opposite. They probably just reused an asset. It makes sense. Why make a whole new one? So now we can go over here and check out another part of the makeup room. And here we go. This is an actual makeup section. As you can see, there's a little setup room where you can put makeup on. This could have been for the actual actors, the staff bots, as we see in Help 1 and 2, or even possibly the main animatronics, like we also see in Help 1 and 2 with Roxy. So we'll make our way over here, trying to watch out for these endoskeletons. There's one right there, as well as a little Roxy plush, which is kind of cool there. And yeah, we'll make our way into the actual, this is the main makeup room. A lot of mirrors, none of which we can see ourselves in, which is a shame, but it's fine. Yeah, so it is a really cool room. And this one's the most well lit. I like how you can see above there's no actual roof, which I think is really cool. You could look down and just see everyone in this room. And it is very lively. I don't know. I really like it. Feels nice. Feels very nice. Alright, so we'll head actually out of here and into the last room. And this is the room that most people will see in game because this is where you have to go. And that is the cardboard cutout room. There's a lot of cardboard cutouts here, especially of Monty for Monty Golf. These are all from the different sections of the game. There's Foxy for the daycare and a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, so really cool. Really cool. I liked it a lot. And I think you actually have to flash a guy in here with the Fazcam. Need to clarify that. And here's like a little drainage area. Not sure what that's used for. No shower heads. But here's the actual gift that has the major size key in it that you need to grab. But we don't need that. We already have it. So once we get out of here, I think I'll probably end the video here. But I really do appreciate you guys watching. That's all of the daycare and all of the main lobby. And we'll give you guys a little jump scare to end the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Heintzel. And get excited because in the future, we have so much more to look for, especially in this series. As you'll see right here when I load in, we have the entire atrium to explore. And we've just explored the very tip of Security Breach and what it has. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Heintzel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.